I understand the technology aspect of the organization, but what I'm curious about is what's important to Zoom other than the technology aspect, other than delivering technology to clients, or do we want to say partners in this day and time, which means more. What's more important than the technology aspect of providing service or providing support?
I will say one core foundation at Zoom is care, right? Care for our customers, care for each other, care for our communities, care for the world around us. And I do think we deeply believe that the way that we treat our employees internally, where they find a sense of belonging, they find growth, they find all of those things, that translates into how we serve our external customers as well. And so that's something deeply core. I remember also, this is kind of a separate note from care, but just a personal story. I remember being on maybe one of my first trainings at Zoom when I first started, and Eric Yuan, our CEO, he joined and did like a Q&A at the end. And there was some intern that jumped in and was like, sir, like, what's your number one piece of advice for someone entering their career? And I just remember what he said really stuck with me. He was like, your career will come and go. Your jobs will come and go. He's like, focus on your family, your friend, like your core, like purpose at home. Like that's what really matters. And he goes, if you show up there, then like, I'm not worried about you showing up here and like whatever. And I just remember being like, I love this company. This is like my first week. And to hear the CEO kind of tell that story and answer her, this intern's question so genuinely, I just remember just feeling butterflies. And I do think that, being here for 6 years, that it remains true, right? So I think a deep care, again, not only for our customers, whatever, but for our employees and who they are and, delivering happiness to them, right?
I think that's like so spot on. Like you really understand what a company cares about based on how the people are treated, right? And especially at a remote company like Zoom, you can oftentimes miss out on the human connections that are made in person. And so I joined the company 2 years ago, and I was looking for a remote company. So there's no surprise there. But what surprised me was how easy Zoom made it for me to find those connections internally when I started. And so we have an intranet or solution called WorkVivo, and it's for business information, but it's also for people information. I can learn more about who I work with. And when I started, it was right when the Summer Olympics were happening. And I went in and I was just reading these stories, and we had Zoomies who were Olympians. And
Zoomies.
Yeah, we call ourselves Zoomies. And we had some Zoomies and some parents of, Zoomie parents that were competing in the Olympics. And it gave me something to follow and find and really start to build human connection. And Zoom made that incredibly easy for me. So if I would want anyone to know something about Zoom outside of a technology, it's exactly what Krista mentioned. Human connection is important, and they make it easy for us as employees to find those connections with technology.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. To watch this episode, go to youtube.com/@storiesfromtheriver. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.